What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. My name is Adam. I am your host. So on today's episode, I wanted to take a look back at 2018, 2019, since some of the we still have some products for 2019, 2020 cards for basketball, but for football and for baseball, we're starting the new cycle, or not really starting, but we have started the new cycle for baseball, obviously, but for football, like Score came out, 2020 Score, with some of these new rookies. So for basketball, I'm not 100% sure when the basketball season ends, like when the next round of products. I'm pretty sure it should have been after the draft, but I even think if I remember correctly, that there were some 2018 products that were coming out after the last draft for basketball. So I'm just, and it's maybe more of like, I want to talk about how awesome 2018 and 2019 are, but it also could be the fact that like they're still new, so like we may look back and say like, wow, those really weren't great years. But for right now, I mean, I think you look at 2018, and I wonder if it's going to be like not even just for basketball or just for baseball, like across the board. Like you look at 1989, that was the Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders rookie year. And I mean, there were some, legendary rookies coming out of the 89 products. So I almost feel like 2018, 2019 is going to be one of those could be two of the best years. And I mean, not just for sports cards, it could just be for rookies in general. I mean, I think we're looking at two transcendent type years for sports cards in 2018 and 2019. So, I mean, I think it's going to be for sports cards and for the sports in general. But you look at just 2018, first of all. 2018 for baseball, you've got Acuna, you've got Soto, and Soto won a World Series his rookie year, and Acuna, I think they made the playoffs, but I think they lost in the first round. So like that was, not rookie year, but this year Soto won the World Series in 2019, which that was Soto's second year. That's correct. So you had Soto, you had Shohei Otani, which I think is it's maybe one of the riskier, but I don't know. I see Shohei Otani is interesting to me because if he like pans out the way that I feel like he should, like if he goes on to have a 10-year career where he is a pitcher and a hitter, I think he'll be very average. Like, he'll probably be above average at both positions. But if he chooses to hit or pitch, I feel like he could be like a top 20. He could be like a top 10 player maybe at either of those positions. But I think I think if he does both, there's definitely some room where I think he may not be in that upper echelon. Like, he may be like an all-star at one of the positions, but it would be interesting to see where he fits in the history books if he continues to pitch and hit. Gleyber Torres, and I made a TikTok, and someone said that you pronounce it this way, someone said you pronounce it this way. I don't know. I think pronunciations have never been one of my strong suits when it comes to names or words. So I'm not just gonna like pretend like I'll look it up, and if I don't pronounce it right the next time, that's just I'm not gonna spend whatever. Austin Meadows is another player that's on that list for 2018. But I mean, for baseball, that 2018 list of like 5 to 6 guys is like super solid. And I mean, I'm sure there's other names that I'm forgetting here, but those are the names that when I looked up 2018 rookies, those are the ones that popped up. And that's just for baseball. For basketball, I mean, I don't have to tell you Luka, like Trae Young, but I do think you're seeing a lot of, like, because Jaren Jackson's also on that list. You got DeAndre Ayton, and I almost think that. So Michael Porter Jr. is a name that I think is very interesting. That it feels like people are putting a lot of money into his cards when his whole career has been riddled with injuries. So it's like, what's to say that doesn't continue? Now, I obviously am rooting for the guy. I hope that he doesn't. I hope that he continues his career and he goes on to have a phenomenal career. But that's what I just haven't bought any of his cards because I don't know. I look at the cards and I think they're too risky for me, like from an injury standpoint. Now, like I said, for basketball, with those Lukas, with the Trae Young cards, with the Luka Trae Young. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. And I think you're seeing a lot of like sixth men that are going to eventually be. They could be starters. I'd say. Like, I think you look across the board at the NBA and you're seeing maybe a changing of kind of the league's top players, if that makes sense. Like, I think there's like the LeBron era players, there's the Curry era players, and then like the 2013-ish era, 2014. I'm trying to think of who would be rookies then. 2014. I forget off the top of my head. But then you have like 2016 with Jaylen Brown, Ben Simmons. I think that's an important year. And then 2017 with Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, another important year. But I think you're seeing this era of players kind of step more into the spotlight a little bit. And I think 2018 is really going to be one of the years we look back, and a lot of players I think are going to come out of that draft, and they're going to be doing the like redraft. Like in 10, 20 years from now, you're going to see like a bunch of articles about like how would you redraft the 2018 draft, because like also it's crazy to think that like, I mean, it may be like the most fair trade of all time if realistic. I don't know. I was gonna say, if you think about it realistically, it's all like the Luka trade is. I mean, I guess you could say like, sure, the trading Luka was a bad idea, but like if the consolation is you get Trae Young, I think that's decent. And I mean, I think you look at it and you say, well, those are the players that the teams themselves wanted. So, because they made the trade on draft day, it's not like midway through the season they made the trade. So I think that it's one of the most fair draft prospect trades. I don't know. I mean, you maybe could say ever. I'd say ever is a fair, because I can't think of any other trade like that just basically worked out for both teams. Like, I'd say Luka and Trae are probably the two best players on their team. So I look at that trade and I'd say like, yeah, like sure, you'd want Luka. Like if you're the Hawks, you're like, dang, I traded Luka. Like that kind of stinks. But at the same time, like you got Trae Young, who are going to be probably the 1 and 2 players from that draft overall. So basketball, obviously a super good year. For football, and I'm not exactly sure about hockey, so I'm not going to be talking about hockey, but for football, obviously you've got Lamar Jackson, MVP last year. I think his cards are a little bit overpriced. I think that he probably has to win a Super Bowl for his cards to really go up, and I don't know. I'm not sure when that's going to happen for him or for the Ravens. And then you've got Baker Wolf. So Baker Mayfield is another player from that draft that I still think the jury is out on Baker Mayfield, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think Freddie Kitchens, like, we're really going to sit here and be like, Freddie Kitchens was the guy that they had for coach. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, that, I don't know what they were thinking there. Like, that just seems ridiculous. So, I think it's still out for Baker Mayfield. Other guys from that draft, you had Sam Darnold. I think the jury is still out for Sam Darnold. I think it's very similar to the Baker Mayfield conversation. I think that you're going to see Darnold probably be, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Darnold, because I think he'll be one of those guys that either pans out to be like a really serviceable quarterback for the Jets, or he's done in like 2 years. Like, I don't think there's like an in between really for him. And then there is the Bills quarterback, Josh Allen, who I know some people are saying that Josh Allen's a little overrated. I don't know. I mean, as a Patriots fan, I want to say that Sam Darnold and Josh Allen are overrated, but I don't know. I mean, I think that he's probably been one of the best, like, serviceable quarterbacks from that year. So I'm just going to look it up one more time. 2018 rookie quarterbacks, just to make sure I don't miss anybody, because I mean, quarterbacks are essentially going to be the top names. I mean, I'm looking at a list here, and you have Josh Rosen on the list too, which, you know, that's I like Rosen as a sleeper. Like, I feel like he could go somewhere, and I think he could go somewhere, and if he's given the right system, that's maybe the issue with him, is like it also seems like he did get kind of screwed, and that honestly is unfortunate for his career a little bit. Like, it seems like he went to Arizona, and then, like, the next year they got a new coach, and then they're like, no, we're not going to draft a new quarterback, and then they draft Kyler Murray first overall. So, I mean, that's unfortunate. Those are the main players for football. I know there's other, like, the defensive players probably. There's probably, like, offensive players, 2018. Oh, so, I mean, there's also, I mean, Saquon Barkley is in that conversation. I think, no, that's 2017. So, Saquon Barkley, I think, is going to be a long-term, a really great running back. So, that's really great. And then, so 2018 being an important year for sports cards and for sports in general, it's going to be an important year for sports cards from a soccer perspective, because the 2018 rookies, like the Kai Havertz, I think that's how you pronounce his name. You got Weston McKennie, you got Alphonso Davies, you've got, I'm just actually going to pull up that 2018 list as well, because I'm just trying to think. You got Phil Foden is on that list. I mean, also the fact that the rookie card emblem was used for one of the first times I've seen it on Panini cards, and Topps didn't really use it, unfortunately. But, 2018 also, wow, what am I thinking? 2018 is the Prism World Cup card for Mbappe, so that's obviously an important card, maybe one of the more important cards. And I know he has other cards, like Panini Adrenaline is a product that I'm not, like, super interested in. Like, I don't know, and I'm not sure why it hasn't really taken off. It feels like it could, depending on the player, but, you know, it seems like it's a product that is like maybe it's because it's not like an American product, and that's why it hasn't really taken off the way that I think if it's a Mbappe 2017 rookie card, like, it feels like it should. But like I said, so 20, and I think that also shows, like, I'm pretty sure on some of the cards I forget on the Prism cards there were any rookie related, because that could be a big deal if there were. I don't remember off the top of my head. There was also Jadon Sancho is another name that was on that 2018 rookie list. I mean, like I said, the 2018 soccer rookies, I think, has a huge list, and also the fact that they included the rookie card, rated rookie insignia on, like, Optic and on like Immaculate, I think, is one of the rookie cards that they included the logos on. So, I mean, like I said, 2018 I think is going to be a very important year for soccer, for every sport, and it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see going forward how strong those rookie classes are and where they sit when it comes to the top players, the top products going forward in history. So I want to thank everyone for listening. That's all I've got for today's episode. Thank you to our sponsor, StarStock. You can follow them at @StarStockMarket on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. YouTube is now a thing. I guess we just put up a YouTube video. It's @HeroesForSale. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Before we get into today's episode, I want to talk to you about our sponsor, StarStock. You've heard me talk about them in the past, and now the website has been launched for a few weeks, and it looks really, really great. One of the best parts about the site is the fact that you can just send the cards in, and you don't have to worry about making any listings or taking any pictures. You just send the cards in, and they basically do all the work for you, which is really awesome. Another great part about the company is actually their website. So I'm somebody that uses the internet pretty frequently, and one of my pet peeves is when the site doesn't optimize for mobile. So StarStock's site does do this when you're on mobile versus desktop, and it's super easy to navigate. Now you can go to the website and register as a seller right from the site. You don't have to do any contact. And soon I've heard they're going to be getting some graded cards up on the website as well. So you can go to starstock.com to check out that. And then you can also go follow them on Twitter and Instagram @StarStockMarket. Now let's get into the show.